Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Daily Brew, your morning pick-me-up. I'm Mark Proyes, pastor of the Naples Seventh Adventist Church, and I'm so glad that you joined us this morning. There's a story in the Bible that gives me chills every time I read it, and it's a story by a gentleman of the name of Jephthah. What happens here is that he's been asking God to lead him into battle and to give him these victories that he believed they needed. But he wasn't being successful. He wasn't winning. He wasn't conquering the invaders that would come into their territories. And it got to the point where he made such a rash decision that he said this: the very first thing that comes out of my house or my property, on my way to greet me, I will sacrifice that to you. And as a result of that pledge, the Bible tells us that he went out and God gave him victory. What's interesting is that the Bible also teaches us that God expects us to honor our vows to him, no matter the cost. But here's the problem. As he's making his way out, back home, the first thing that comes out of his house is his one and only daughter. His heart must have just sank. And then he gets upset and blames her for running out to greet the father who has been months in the battle. But he is reminded of the situation that he put himself in because he made a vow to sacrifice to God his whatever came first from his house. Have you ever made a brash decision? Have you ever made decisions that after you made them and you make promises that, oh, man, I really don't want to do this? Let me remind you of just two things. First, God expects us to honor our part because he has always been faithful and will honor his. But we shouldn't make rash decisions, thinking on the spur of a moment. I'm not going to get into the theology of should he, should not have he. I just want to remind you this morning of this. God expects us to make sound decisions. He has given us the freedom to choose. But when we come to an impasse where we don't know what to ask for, or when we don't know what decisions to make because God apparently isn't answering our prayers in the way that we may have expected, and we have to make tough choices, he has given us the ability to think. He has given us the ability to process. So as you go throughout your day, I encourage you to do not make any rash decisions. Take your choices and your decisions up to God. Allow him to lead you. And if he doesn't, think through the process and make the best choice possible. God will bless you. But if you do choose to make a decision, and if you do promise God something, he expects you to fulfill it. May God bless you.